Hello and welcome to KmanGaming. I am Kman and this is Satisfactory Multiplayer. And I am joined by DJ as usual, as we can see here. However, this episode is going to have to be slightly different to what we do normal. We've recorded 3 episodes in advance because DJ's not going to be here for our usual filming day, and I came to start editing them and I found out that my microphone wasn't connected for 3 episodes. So I'm going to do a bit of a voiceover for the episodes that we've got here, and hopefully my random musings will keep you entertained. But essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to condense all of these 3 episodes down into one almost like highlight reel basically of what we've done. So while we were off camera, I'm just showing DJ this actually, while we're off camera I completely remade the copper factory. The YouTube algorithm showed me a Total Eclipse video, and he showed a method of building where the all of the transport was actually underneath, so it's in a level underneath the actual factory, and that's what I'm showing here, how I've linked it all up using the conveyor belts, but how that looks completely clean on top of the actual factory floor. So you bring everything up, basically you send it all down, you bring it all back up, and it keeps the factory floor nice and clean. Now, I really do like this method of building. However, it took an absolute age, and I don't really think that's something I have the skill to do on camera all the time. So while we did like it, we also thought, actually, do you know what? We'll probably continue building the way we're building. Now that did highlight something for me. I found out actually before we were just storing all of our what we made in this factory, but there wasn't a way to you can see I'm getting distracted here. I've just seen a Mercer sphere. And we are in the middle of collecting all of our Mercer spheres so we can do our dimensional depots. So I do take a bit of a sidetrack here. Now I start trying to build a ladder actually, and DJ realizes that I'm building a ladder, and he said no, don't cheat. So you'll see I actually have to parkour it. He showed me a way up, I started walking around and tried to find the natural way up, I think is what DJ said, do it the natural way. And you will see I am not the best of climbers, and I do think ladders would have been better for me. So we just go up and we collect this Mercer sphere. Well, I say we, okay, you'll see exactly what happens in a moment. Safe to say I only tried this the once, it was a little bit complicated, and just coming back on ourselves here. And true to form, I get really close to the top, and let's see what happens. There we go. I thought I'd made it up, so I rage quit. I said, DJ, you get the Mercer sphere, I shall wait down here. But yeah, coming back to this, we can see that actually, because the 3 were being kept into storage, the IKEA base itself doesn't actually have a route in for all of our storage. So DJ takes a little bit of time in a moment to go and do that. I had also found, again, from an accidental short that I watched on YouTube, that SAM in the early days, while we're not using it, we can put it into a sink, and it's worth like 160 points towards your tickets each time. So actually in this early game, it's really quite valuable. So this is what you can see me setting up here. I just try and put this into a sink. And the first thing that I try to do is completely underneath, and it really doesn't fit. Putting in an extra splitter here, found out I didn't need that because of course we've got a splitter there. But yeah, it was a bit too big to fit into this underground flooring, so we end up putting it onto the flooring just above. So yes, it just doesn't quite fit there. I had completely forgotten the size of the sink, thinking it was an awful lot smaller than it was. So it ends up going up here instead. Here you can start seeing the extra line that DJ is building for us, all the way from the currently unnamed copper factory and currently uncoloured copper factory. So if you do want to add a name and a color to that, or just add your color to it and we put your name above the door, but you can see here is where DJ is building that all across. I did store a couple of bits behind the factory in some temporary storage. And so you'll see that these are the temporary storages down at the back there, where I emptied my inventory for probably the millionth time this game and then couldn't end up finding anything. We're currently in the process of discussing how to complete phase 2 here, but we decide instead of going straight for phase 2, we're going to complete the milestones first and just make sure that everything is automated and ready to go before we go for phase 2. So that's what the rest of this episode will show, is just how we complete those milestones. One of the other things that I had done off camera as well was rebalance or remake rather this bridge, because the previous bridge went a bit lower. We raised up this factory, so the previous bridge went a bit lower. I redid the entire bridge that you can see here, so it now goes into the side of the factory, and then we've got obviously our steel beams, our pipes, our encased industrial beams as well, all being made here. We're currently not belting them back to the base. I think we are going to probably build another couple of floors on this factory and try and make this a whole steel factory. But yeah, you can see here we've also got the some more pillars that are going here. They don't really look realistic enough for me at the moment. We can't build on one side of it because we've already got some things underneath it. So I'm waiting, and hopefully we'll get some like industrial girders or something unlocked, and I'll complete those. But yeah, for now they're left uncompleted. The eagle-eyed watchers will just realise that I picked up some certain equipment from our steel base, and of course that is so that we can complete our milestone for Fix-It blueprints and unlock those. We have managed to automate everything that we need for this now. So the copper factory, we've got the concrete going into the main base, we've got the steel and the modular frames being made in their respective factories as well. Ada does let us know that we have unlocked the blueprints. It's going to be a little while before we use them. I think they're going to be really, really useful, but if it's anything like Factorio, the blueprints do take a little bit of getting used to. So we shall probably look at that a bit off camera before we start trying to use them on camera, but they are super useful. And here we can see that I start unlocking the hypertubes. It was a really, really productive episode, so I'm slightly gutted that the voiceover hasn't worked actually. But yeah, we do unlock an awful lot this episode as well, especially because we're already creating the copper sheets, we're already creating the steel pipes, we're already creating the industrial beams as well, encased beams. And straight away we get to launch the second one, which is for hypertubes. We had absolutely everything we needed for this already created. This is probably the one I was looking most forward to, and Ada here explains that we can now use hypertubes, and hypertubes are really good for getting from place to place very quickly. Now later on we don't actually set up hypertubes straight away. We do this in a couple of episodes, so do keep an eye out for when we set that up. It's actually really exciting. DJ has a great idea for using it, not in the conventional way, and yeah, I was really hyped for being able to use it. Just quickly showing the unlock things here. So it does do a hypertube entrance. You get a hypertube support, and stackable hypertube, so you can stack them one on top of the other. And that brings us to our last thing that we can unlock on this phase, which is the actual phase 2 completion. And here you can see me just setting up a very, very quick hack to make some versatile frameworks. So here I am just loading in the steel that we need here, and that will all come out just into its own little storage here. So we can create, I think it was like 134 more versatile frameworks. And I believe I handcraft the advanced wires. This is only a quick and dirty temporary hack, by the way. This does get pulled down as soon as the versatile frameworks have been created. Oh, I didn't actually handcraft the automated wiring. Using the temporary storage that I set up at the back of the copper factory, I actually just feed a few directly into the automator, and that is creating us our automated wiring. I thought, oh, well, why do it by hand when we can just set it up automating? Or at least semi-automating, I guess. And with that, the automated wiring, the versatile frameworks and the smart plates are all completed, and it's time to launch. So we load the cargo, we're going to seal the cargo, and we're going to send the cargo. I will sit back and let you watch the majesty.
Welcome to the Project Assembly Pioneer Progress presentation. Congratulations, the Phase 2 project part shipment is now ready for delivery. On delivery, Phase 2 will be completed and the construction dock will be constructed. After completion of Phase 2, the technologies of Tiers 5 and 6 will become available in the hub. These might feel intimidating after your previous experience, but rest assured that you would not be here if you were entirely incompetent. Highlights are oil production, railway transportation, the jetpack, and many more. Completing Phase 3 of Project Assembly is your next main objective. Just remember to focus on producing and delivering the project parts, and Fixit's faith in you will be strengthened. Phase 2 of Project Assembly completed. You have been performing more adequately under pressure and are closer than ever to saving the day. Perhaps you were the right choice for the job. Time will tell. You will now enter Phase 3 of Project Assembly. Continue as you are, and there should be no issue. For humanity. For Fixit.
So we are officially not entirely incompetent now, which was very, very lovely of Ada. And I just wanted to take a couple of seconds to check out that planet. And oh, I think I've just seen another blue power slug that we've not seen before. So I shall have to make sure and go back that we get that next time we play. We have taken to affectionately calling this building IKEA because it contains absolutely everything we want, and I do think that's a very fitting name with a very fitting colour for our central storage. Of course, the first thing we go after we get Phase 3 is the long-awaited jetpacks, and I don't know if you can see in the corner there, DJ has been setting up something especially for us in the corner. So we come over and we do build a couple of jetpacks. It does involve an awful lot more handcrafting, and I won't lie to you, we handcrafted all of the motors that we needed in order to get the jetpacks actually available for creation. I had a little bit of extra stuff in my inventory, so it was down to me to actually create the jetpack. So I create one for me and one for DJ. And that was pretty much as much as we had for that first episode. So this is the start of the second episode. I've just made the jetpack and I'm just putting it on, and then DJ decides to tell me how it works.
So, have one square of 200 in your thing, and then you're going to basically jump and keep spacebar down.
Needless to say, at this point, I am amazed, and I find I can't even decide which thing to hold in my hand, so it looks good for the camera. It was super good. This is probably one of the highlights of the game so far, and I'm genuinely gutted that it didn't record my reaction, because I don't think you will have heard me more excited than I was. Here he's just teaching me how to fly a little bit faster by using the slide and fly technique, which was super cool as well. We had decided that this episode was going to be a Mercer Hunt episode, so we really want to get the Dimensional Depot upgrade, whereby we can put our stuff directly into the manual depot uploader, so that thing at the bottom that you can see on the screen there of the Dimensional Depot. So basically the next 10 minutes was us sorting out the Nobelisks so that would upload into our Dimensional Depot, so that we could go and kill some beasties, and then we spent another like 10 minutes just trying to sort out what we would need when we inevitably died, what we should be carrying with us, what we didn't want to lose when we did die. A lot of hassle. DJ started by leading me into the woods, which was a bit of a strange thing. He was like, oh, do you like these trees? Do you like these trees? And then he went into real Greenpeace mode, and he was like, oh, I'm just going around and I'm touching every single tree. And at this point, I genuinely thought he had lost his marbles. He was like, do you like these trees? Do you like how nice they are? And I was like, well, yeah, they're trees, aren't they? Like they look really cool. And then he was like, well, just watch this. And then he told me I was there touching some trees as well, because he was like, touch them. I was like, oh, maybe something magical happens. And then he's like, oh, just look at this, because we don't want to destroy all these trees. And he goes, we don't want to chainsaw all these trees. So I was getting ready to chainsaw things. But yes, you may have just noticed what I noticed on the floor. And he showed me how you can just clear the whole land really, really quickly by exploding the trees. And that was pretty cool. The next task then was to find these Mercer spheres, and I'm still kind of getting used to this little Mercer sphere thing, and how when you're facing, so what I've learned is when you're facing in the right direction, you can see it and it will show you on the actual Mercer sphere thing, but if you're not facing in the right direction, the bar goes down to 0, and it was underneath that water, and I completely missed that before being attacked by the animal, and it took me a little while, but managed to pick up the Mercer sphere. Ada did another little bit of talking to us, and well, it's kind of, I think at this point it's the Mercer spheres that speak to us, and I'll be honest, I have absolutely no idea what they are trying to say to me at the moment. It just sounds like absolute nonsense to me, but it also sounds quite cool. Like I kind of like listening to it, and like I'm kind of getting that whole vibe where it's like trying to take over your brain, and like I really do feel that. DJ again was being super cryptic at this point whilst I was trying to get up, and he has this whole thing where, because he's played a little bit before, and some of the things he knows, and he knows the map quite well, and he tries not to do spoilers for me. But yeah, he's been really cryptic here, and it's like, oh, just have a look at that wall, and I noticed, oh yeah, it's a different texture, and he's like, yeah, that's because you can blow it up. And he was then like, oh, but be really, really careful, because in here obviously there are monsters, and the monsters come in the form of spiders, and DJ does not like spiders, so count yourselves lucky. At this point he was screaming loudly, and I was like, I'm remember saying at the time, I was like, DJ, this is going to be really hard to edit out. And little did I know how absolutely true that was going to be. But yeah, I think we get attacked in a second here. I'm just getting myself ready for health. And yeah, so I'm just really careful about, there we go, there's the big spider there. And that is there we go. I did scream a little bit there because I did not realize that they jumped. And so yeah, we're both fighting this spider here and managed to take it down in really quick succession. And if I'm honest, I don't think they're nearly as bad as DJ says they are, especially when there's two of us. They seem to be relatively easy to get killed. So here I'm just looking around for that Mercer sphere again, and DJ decides to blow me up. Don't ask me why he dropped a bomb at that point, but yeah, that was first death, literally about 5 minutes into exploring. After a long journey back, we fight some spiders, or I fight some spiders really badly, especially now I'm watching it back. And we also find a couple of slugs in the cave. I pick up a purple and a blue slug, and I think DJ picks up another 2 blue slugs while we're searching. We did get lost on the way out and ended up the other side of where we were, and DJ still trying to kill me with explosive bombs, but you can see we find a summer sloop there in the background. That's that red glowing thing at the top, and it is surrounded by those flies, and I do not mind saying these flies are absolutely hell to deal with. Oh, you can spot another blue power slug just on the top of that cliff there. Yeah, these flies are absolute nightmare to deal with, and they become even worse when DJ is just throwing his bombs around. I'd realised I'd forgotten my Noblisk detonator, so I was pretty much powerless at having to fire these bombs, and really had to rely on DJ and his, shall we say, questionable aim to try and kill everything for us. Eventually though, we do manage to pick up that summer sloop, and I did notice something about that rock, that it does look like it is a rock that is holding out its middle finger, and I don't know if that was planned by the devs or something like that for taking the summer sloop, but I did find that quite funny. Onwards we go though, battling more monsters, and DJ's penchant for trying to explode me. We did find a crash site, which was really cool. Picked up some rubber and some other bits and pieces that we can't actually create at the moment. I think that's a heavy modular frame there, or maybe not that time. Some status as well, which we really badly needed. And of course, we managed to get another hard drive as well. So all in all, that was a really good find for us. Oh no, tell a lie, we couldn't get into this one. It needed repairs, it needed some electricity. So I marked this on the map ready for us to come back when we have our electricity just a little bit more mobile than it is now. I think we do have the really big power pylons at this point, but we've not even started bringing electricity over here, so we left it for the moment. Along our travels, we do come across another couple of power slugs. So this one's a yellow power slug. Oh, and it's another yellow power slug in here. And of course, it is accompanied by some spiders. At this point, we also come across, and DJ warns me really quite heavily about these. We come across, I think it's the first, I don't know if it's called like a super spawner or something like that, but you can just see it over there in the background, the super spawner with the yellow spots on it. And that actually produces something like 8 flies a time instead of the 3 flies, so it's a lot more deadly than my current skill level really allows for. So I stayed back up here and tried to, oh, there's another spawner, so we're really no matter where we go there's always spawner, but yeah, I tried to aggro the flies over here so that DJ could kill the big spawner over there, and it did take an awful long time to do. We finally reach the top and get to safety, and I find out, oh, it's absolutely not safety. We've got some really large, horrible beasts that are trying to spit at us. I think, spitters and spawners, I think is what they're called. So here I am trying to take on this spitter by myself and failing miserably. And also, just as I tried to come to this side of safety, I found out there's even more trying to kill us. And I think those plants spit out gas when they are agitated too much. Luckily, DJ killed that spitter for us and we decided to go a different way instead. At this point, I'm following the Mercersphere, we come along here and DJ's blowing everything up for me in the way. We do come across a little bit of Sam, which is really nice to see. DJ was explaining that actually in areas where there is Sam, it means that the area is a bit more dangerous than other areas. That's probably why we've got all these little gas clouds here. I'm really still trying to work out the how it all works at the moment, and you'll be able to see here that actually the Mercersphere is just over on the left hand side. I completely miss it, but DJ does manage to see it, and he actually manages to get that before I even reach there. So he does manage to get to the Mercersphere first, he brings it to safety. I say safety, I suppose liberated. We liberated the Mercersphere is a nice way of of saying it. It sounds better than we stole the Mercersphere from the environment. Always the good sport though. DJ clears the area for us and lets me take the Mercersphere. I then get a little bit too big-headed with me following the map and the Mercerspheres, and I end up heading off probably a bit further than I should have really without DJ, and really do get ganged up on. And this then leads to, inevitably my second death of the episode, and they really do go in at me here. I can't seem to get my bearings, and I'm just getting hit from all sides, and I died. At this point though, we're coming to the end of the hour that we've got to film, and I just happened to be trying to sprint and something's going on with my thing, so I'm crouching thinking that I'm walking because I've run out of sprint, and just find that you can sneak up on the flies, so that starts the theory. Maybe we can just sneak up on these flies and they don't actually explode. So we try that over the course of this episode and the next episode, and it does turn out actually you can just sneak up on those fly things, and they don't even spawn anything. DJ was saying you can do this apparently with other animals as well, like on certain ones, if you sneak up behind them and you hit them, they just run away. So here I am walking off to the area that DJ has asked me to meet him at, and I will fast travel there, so with the power of editing, so you don't have to watch that long and arduous journey. We do end up somewhere familiar, somewhere we've been before, and DJ highlights the crude oil, and he's a bit cryptic about it, but now I'm future me compared to past me here, and I am very aware that it's for the oil, and he mentions that this is where we're going to start building our next power production, and you might have just seen me on the maps there. That was just me seeing how we might actually pump up some oil, and I don't think we're able to do that just yet. DJ continues with his absolute explosions there, and I think we managed to find a summer sloop in here, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there it is, summer sloop. So that is an extra thing that we get. So I think all in all, in this excursion journey, we managed to find maybe sort of like 5 Mercerspheres, loads and loads of power slugs, and I think we got a total of 3 summer sloops for this, and that is where we end episode 2. And at the very start of episode 3, I had logged on before DJ had logged on, and I had a beastie waiting for me straight away. So luckily I got to practice my jetpacking skills and really test the intelligence of the pathing of these creatures. And honestly, the pathing that they have is really quite good. It just took him literally just a couple of tests to find out that we had built our own path over the water, but luckily I managed to smite this little beastie just as DJ joined, and I was safe. The third episode focused a lot on us building transport tubes. I think we also do some bits with stators and motors as well. But as you can see just from that little bit on the corner, I found out how to edit the to-do list and get it to stay on screen. So I shall now be trying to add a to-do list at the beginning of each episode, and we shall check that off at the end of each episode, and hopefully that will keep my real discombobulated brain on track when I'm trying to do things. We spent a fair bit of time actually just sort of clearing out the islands of all of the different beasties, really trying not to be killed in the process. I think I might have died here actually. I sort of flew across and realised not only were there like four different like headbutter things, there's also a spitter there coming after me, and so yeah, with the DJ firing his bombs all around, it really became a bit of a crazy battlefield, and yeah, this was the outcome. So yeah, smoke that one, and then really just try and get along to the others. Realised he was already dead, and oh, actually no, we were successful. So just went gathering around all of the remains. DJ had explained to me we really do need to keep all of the remains collected. Don't know why just yet. I think I do know why, but I think that gets revealed in a later episode. But yeah, just flying over, killing that one. He got killed really easy there, so that was nice. And I think this is the entire island is now clear. And we start. So DJ was mentioning that if you'd put down some foundations, you can start. It starts like not allowing animals to respawn, and this is really where we want to build the next power station. So we make a start on those foundations straight away. While DJ really focuses on really building those foundations, I give that those spawner things a sneak, just to really practice that sneak technique and see if it was just a one-off or it did work. And as you can see, there was a slug up here that I wanted to get. I'm sneaking over to these flies just to see if they spawn or not while DJ's not near me, and it does actually let me kill the spawner without them spawning out. So I think that's the technique that I'm going to use from here on out. With all of those extra foundations down, we decide to start making our way back home, and we come across some more spawners, and DJ does not like to use the technique of crouching. He likes to use bombs, and unfortunately that means my health disappears really rather quickly, but that allowed me to do a fast travel back to the base, and I wait here for DJ while he brings me back my equipment. Quick shout out to Galadriel as well, who mentioned to me that you can use the search button, the N button, to do some quick calculations on screen. That is super useful, so really thank you for that. I do appreciate it. And so we come to starting to build the launch tube. Now, DJ mentioned to me that he had a really fun and novel way to get us over to the petrol base, or to where the oil is going to be. And he was a little bit cryptic about this, so I couldn't help him too much. But here we start, and he's doing some diagonal foundations, which I didn't realise you can do, but that puts us directly in line with the power stations. Now, It took us an absolute age to build this this transport tube thing that he does, because we just could not get it to work. So it took well, I'll show you. I'll break these down. I'll show you the highlights from them. But essentially, what was supposed to take us 10 minutes ended up taking us like the entire hour. So we'll break this down, and I imagine it will not amount to too much. So here is the first look at what we're building, and to let you in on the surprise, we are looking at trying to build a transport tube cannon, so something that shoots us up and over to the oil. So we just need to connect this up to power because, yeah, as you can see, I tried to get in there and it doesn't work. And the amount of times I go backwards and forwards to this blooming storage over the course of this episode is absolutely unreal. I should have just picked up the entire lot at the beginning and brought it over to a storage over here. But yeah, we of course need to connect this up to power, which is why it didn't work the first time. We are now connected up to power and it doesn't work a second time. So we think maybe it's because we need a tube at the end of it. And spoiler alert, that was not the case. We build it here and DJ's really trying to get the angle right. And yeah, this it's just a mess. The entire building of this was just a mess. Our power still doesn't seem to be 100% either. So actually there we go. It's sort of like clipped in and I was like, oh my gosh, how's that going to shoot us out? It just really doesn't look like it's going to work at all. And it's just not sucking us through. I was like, maybe we have to press a button to get into it, and just none of it worked. So this was the second fail. We then managed to get the output absolutely fine, and we do a bit more of a countdown again, and I try to go in and we can see something at the end, but it's just not working for us at the moment. So that was the third fail. After that third fail, we realised that the air that was being sucked in just wasn't coming through everything enough, so we broke the entire thing down, and we tried to get it to start sucking through multiple things, thinking that maybe we just had to put like tubes between each of these bits. Here we can see, oh, it accidentally launched me for the first time there, so that was really cool. But yeah, even though we've got the second one connected up to connected up all to the power, the sucky bit just wasn't coming out, and we thought maybe we're not putting these down in the right direction, maybe the arrows aren't going in the right direction. So before we can even try launching again, we're trying to connect them all up to these power cable, not to the power cables, to the plastic tubes. But yeah, as you can see, that they seem to be working separately, but it just won't suck us into them. So this was the fourth fail. At this point, we really couldn't work out what was going on, so we thought two brains are better than one. I'm going to try and build something over here, he's going to try and build something over there, and we're going to see what actually might work and what might not work. And we just came to the conclusion, actually, that you cannot seem to put a hypertube entrance onto another hypertube. You can't do the entrance or the exit. It seems to just clip into itself, and we just couldn't work out what was happening there. I then joined DJ again, who seems to be making some progress. Now I think he's putting a load of entrances and exits next to each other, and he's sort of doubling these up on each other, putting one way and one the other way. And this used an awful lot of power, so we ended up having to connect all of these together, and I think there was something like 210 megawatts of power was needed to power them all. So what we actually did with this, because it was really damaging our main power system, and we wanted to make sure that stuff was being made in the background while we were playing around with this, we actually had to create its own burner setup for this, and we used all of our solid fuel burners that were meant for our jetpacks on this. Here we are making that separate burner array, and I think it did take like 7 or 8 burner arrays to do this. So we actually, with all of the solid fuel that we actually had, we could only feed 25 solid fuel into the entire array to get it going, which I knew wasn't going to last us very long, but we thought it might only take power while we're actually using the tube. That wasn't the case. It uses power constantly. So while this is a great temporary measure for us to test, we also realized actually that was not going to be a long-term goal. Here I am just taking 1 stack of the solid fuel out, and then I split it into a load of stacks of 25 and then just manually load everything into the burners. Here we are at attempt 5, and actually this was the least successful attempt totally. So even though the burners are running, the biomass burners are running, it wasn't actually powering anything, and we couldn't work out why it was or wasn't powered, because as far as we could tell everything was linked up, but of course that wasn't the case. But DJ rage quit everything. So at this point we are back to remaking the transport tubes thing yet again. And here we are, attempt 6. So we now have everything connected up to power. At this point we can see that we've got that that graphic of the air flowing through the tubes at this point as well. I think DJ is just about to put on the very end of it, trying to stay away from the entrance because I don't want to get sucked into it. But yeah, this is looking really promising now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh.
So that's attempt 6, and of course it was unsuccessful again. And at this point we're really quite frustrated because we're just not sure what's going on. Am I not pressing the right button? DJ was like, no, I'm sure it just sort of like pulls you in when it's all working. The end one is working, as we can see here. Like the end one will pull you through, but we could not work out why it just wasn't connecting all up. We can't put some tubes in the middle of it at this point. The tubes won't allow anything to connect up. You can just see here, like we're like, oh, something's absolutely going wrong. So at this point we decide, you know what, we're gonna stop this. We're gonna have a quick watch of YouTube and see exactly what it is that we're doing wrong. So thank you to whoever created the small YouTube short. Here is the new version of the tube, and essentially this tube is it's got some supports in the middle, and then we can see it's successful. It accidentally launched DJ over, so I am just about to go and join him shortly. So yeah, 7, lucky number for some, and it really was lucky for us. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. And how amazing is this? It was completely exhilarating to be flying over here, and also we had a quick glimpse over at some of the very, very top bits that we've not yet visited. We have our oil production just over here, and we really landed really perfectly actually. DJ aimed this really well, so really well done to DJ for working that out. And again, thank you to whoever created the YouTube short. I just didn't get your name, but it really did allow us to keep having fun. We're now back at the main base, and as I was gathering some bits so that we can build another tube on the way back, I realised actually we have 30 computers. So we're now going into the MAM and we are researching the manual depot unloader, and essentially what this allows us to do is
put stuff into the depot from our inventories directly, which is going to be really good for when we go and explore and we get too much in our inventory and we're risking dying, and we just want to make sure that we don't lose all of our bits and pieces. Here you can see I'm just in the process of creating the biomass burners for the power at the new oil farm, and you can just see in the background there DJ is building the new tube system to shoot us back to the main base. And we wrap up the end of the episode, which is the third episode we recorded without audio, by shooting ourselves back to the main base. So yes, I know this one was a little bit different with the voiceover. I do still hope that you've managed to follow along with how far we've come, because I didn't want to get rid of these episodes because we didn't have some sound as we uncovered quite a bit here. So it's been quite heavy watching. If you have watched to the very end, thank you very much as always. We do appreciate it. Please do like, subscribe, comment, help the YouTube channel grow. We're on 92 subscribers at the moment, so if you have watched this far and you're not subscribed, please do give us a subscribe. It means a great deal to a small YouTube channel like us. But yeah, I will leave you with the glorious sights of flying. Thank you, and we'll see you again soon.